How you doing? Good. Thanks for sticking with us at 5 o'clock, just before happy hour and all that good stuff. We really appreciate you being here. Oh, let me go back one. All right, perfect. Welcome to our lightning talk, which is called Supercharge Your Growth and Capability in Public Sector with Partner Programs. My name is Mike Kennedy, and with me is Mesa Haddad. Thanks for being here, Mesa. Today we're going to share program updates and use cases to help you accelerate your business in public sector specifically. First, I wanted to cover what our exact agenda will be for today. We're going to go through a lot of content and updates with you guys, and then one note, we will be hanging around for questions afterwards. So if you have questions and you want to ask us, please be keeping those top of mind, and we're happy to chat after the presentation. We're going to start with a little bit of information about who we are and what our team does and our mission. Then we're going to get into different program updates, and those are going to span three main phases of programs. So those are the build programs with our development program side, then marketing programs to help you differentiate your business, and then finally programs that help you sell and grow through things like co-sell, and then we'll wrap up with some resources to help you throughout the week at reInvent. Okay, so a little bit about who we are and what our team is. So our team's name is Partner Core Worldwide Public Sector, and the entire mission of our team is to help you grow, to help you accelerate your growth and your profitability in public sector specifically. As a reminder, public sector at AWS is 5 verticals. I often get the question is, do you treat public sector like other companies? What does it mean at AWS? So just to level set a little bit, for us, those 5 verticals are government, education, public healthcare, nonprofit, and aerospace. So that's how we define public sector within AWS. Now, I wanted to do a quick poll of the audience. Could you raise your hand if you already do business in public sector with your company? Okay, the vast majority, very good. And if you don't do business yet in public sector, could you raise your hand if you're thinking about it or maybe might grow in that area eventually? Okay, maybe, okay. I think most of you are already there, but some may be considering it, which is great either way. So whether you've been doing business in public sector for a long time, or it might be a newer area of business that you're working with us in, again, we're gonna help you think about how accelerating your growth with us in those verticals. We did wanna share a little bit more about ourselves and who we are. So again, my name is Mike Kennedy, and I lead our global partner programs and strategic initiatives organization, again, entirely focused on public sector. I've been at AWS for 8 years now. I'm based in the Washington, D.C. area. This is actually my 8th or 9th reInvent overall, I think. I was a partner at AWS before I worked at AWS, so I attended a few as a partner and now many as an AWS employee. Could you all raise your hands if you've been to reInvent before this year? All right, then keep them up if you've been 3 or more years. Oh, pretty good. 5 or more years? Look at these guys back here. How many years? 7? All right, very impressive. So we've got some reInvent veterans here, which is always great to see. Awesome, and then Mesa, do you want to introduce yourself as well?
Yeah, thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Mesa. I've been with AWS for 6.5 years. I think this is my 3rd or 4th reInvent. I'm based in London, and I lead our team, I lead our competencies for public sector. So yeah, very excited to be here today.
Awesome, thank you, Mesa. All right, so before we jump into the actual program updates, we wanted to give you a little bit of context on what we mean by Supercharge, which again is the name of this session. So the reason you chose that name is because when we think of programs, we actually think of them as similar to aspects of infrastructure. So similar to the AWS Partner network, which was founded over 10 years ago, if you think of something like electric vehicles, for example, and their charging options, charging options first came to market over a decade ago as well, but today, you can go to DC fast charging stations and get up to a 150-mile charge in 30 minutes, whereas compared to level 2 chargers may take many hours to charge your car. In a similar vein, if you think about trains as another form of infrastructure, if you think about trains in Tokyo, they can travel up to 200 miles per hour, where here in the US, Amtrak only tops out at about 150. And I can tell you in my experience, it's usually much, much slower than that as well. And so when we think about programs, what we want to do is give you tools and funding and capabilities so you can be more like that DC fast charger in your business, right? And really accelerate everything that you're doing with us. All right, this is always quite popular slide. Feel free to take a picture of it if it's helpful. We often get the question of what programs are receiving usage and are popular in public sector. This is by no means exhaustive of everything, but it's certainly a list that is getting a lot of attention and getting good feedback with us in public sector. I'm not going to go through all of these here. You'll hear about a lot of them in our presentation, but just super quickly, again, there's those 3 phases, right, is how we structure our programs and how you're going to hear this presentation. So there's the build programs, there's market, sell, and grow. Under build, you have things like Innovation Sandbox, which helps offset your costs for building new solutions, as one example. In the middle column, under market, think of that as things that differentiate your practice with us, so those end customers can see you as a differentiated partner. Something there, as an example, would be like competencies. In the far right hand, that's sell and grow. Those are really programs designed to help you win business and grow your practice with us. And then at the bottom, we have a few things that span, all of those phases, such as our ACE platform, where you share opportunities and update pipeline with us. And with that, I'm going to pass to Mesa to cover our first category of programs.
Thank you, Mike.
Sure.
All right, let's start with the build programs. So some of you may be familiar with the Partner Transformation Program, or PTP, which helps AWS partners develop their overall AWS business. So last year we launched the Targeted Transformation Modules, or TTMs, which are personalized engagements that help partners accelerate adoption of key specific areas. And one of those is GenAI. So we launched the GenAI module earlier this year for participants to expand their knowledge of AWS GenAI services and just explore the use cases around GenAI. And we've had over 65 partners complete the GenAI module with over 830 GenAI related opportunities created by the participating partners through Q3 of this year. And so the next slide actually will highlight one of our partners, Nest Technologies, that participated in the pilot. And so as you can see here, the VP of Cloud at Nest shared that they've been able to reduce the time to market for new GenAI solutions, enhance their team's expertise in that area, and strengthen their relationship with AWS through the program. Nest Technologies' long-term objective is to position themselves as a GenAI services leader in the market, and the GenAI TTM is an important step in their journey. So we're excited to share that we have a new TTM pilot focused on marketplace for AWS channel partners. This new module will help partners develop a strategy for selling on the AWS marketplace and will work with partners to build their go-to-market plan. The pilot is available in select geographies, including the US, Asia Pacific, and Japan as of yesterday. And we plan to expand the pilot to additional geographies in 2025. So please, if you're interested in this, talk to us after the presentation or reach out to your partner manager if you want to learn more. So it's been busy. Another thing we created this year, or another program we launched, is the Business Outcomes Accelerator Program, or BOX. BOX helps partners build outcome-focused solutions for line of business buyers. So we hear from customers that they want solutions that they can use out of the box, and BOX program actually helps partners develop repeatable use case-specific solutions by providing in-person partner matchmaking events where partners can ideate on solution concepts together, and build basically new solutions with each other. So we're actually set to host our 20th event of the year in Sao Paulo later this month. There's a QR code here if you're interested in staying up to date on upcoming events or the latest BOX updates. please scan the QR code and fill in the interest form. The next slide will take us through an example of two partners that have successfully used Box to innovate. So the Scale Factory, or TSF, is a UK-based SI partner that helps SaaS businesses with security, compliance, and risk management. Through the Box program, TSF collaborated with EdTech partner Arbor Education to ideate and build new line of business solutions for schools. So the collaboration leveraged TSF's existing solution, which is built on AWS Control Tower, and they helped Arbor Education improve their existing solution by establishing good AWS governance, following AWS well-architected best practices. And so within 3 months of this collaboration, Arbor Education was able to modernize their application and onboard many new customers. This is a great example of the collaboration and innovation that Box can bring to partners. So yeah, definitely look into it. And I'll turn it back to Mike for the market programs.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mesa. Okay, now we're going to move into that next phase of programs, if you remember, which is market programs to help you differentiate your business. The first program I want to dive into is one of our most popular programs, which is called Think Big for Small Business. What this program does is it supports small and minority female-owned partners with expedited access to funding, marketing, and technical support. Launched just 3 years ago, we're excited to say that this program now has over 1,300 partners participating in it across 73 countries. We're thrilled about the results with that. In addition, our partners in Think Big for Small Business, which I'm just going to call TBSB to keep it short, are seeing acceleration in their growth. In 2023, partners in the program saw an average of 42% year-over-year growth in launched opportunities with us. In 2024, we are expanding this program, and we've been working on ways to actually help these partners not only get access to additional funding and resources at AWS, but actually go out and win contracts with us. We're doing that in 3 primary ways. Number one, we're helping with discovery. We're helping our own internal sales teams be able to discover these partners and actually work with them to win contracts together. Number two, we're making connections where we actually run what we call growth days, where we bring these partners in and highlight their capabilities, again, to our internal sales teams. And we also feature them in front of our capture and RFP teams as well. And then lastly, empowerment. We're giving them additional resources to win those contracts and again, help them grow their business with AWS. Always love sharing successes through examples. And Serve7 is one of our small business partners actually based in Canada, and they design and implement tailored contact center strategies for organizations across that part of the world. Since joining the TBSB program in 2023 as a registered tier partner, they supercharged their growth and achieved advanced tier partner, so 2 levels higher within just 6 months. In that time, Serve7 successfully launched 16 AWS opportunities, driving $1.5 million in annual recurring revenue. And one way I would encourage you to think about this is the program really helped them jumpstart their investment in AWS and their practice with AWS so that they could keep investing and keep growing their business with us. Okay, up next, we're going to talk about a program I know many of you have heard of, and that is our competency program. When you think of competencies, think of them as one of our highest levels of attainment that you can have as a partner. It gives you a badge as being an expert in a certain vertical, or what we call industry area, or a technical or use case area. Here in public sector, we do have specific vertical competencies. You can see the 5 we have here on this slide. We have government, education, nonprofit, public safety, and smart city. Now, we've been hearing feedback from a lot of you that it can be a high bar to achieve a competency, so we've been adding more and more benefits to competencies to make that work you're doing to get them worth your while. As an example, we have new content that we provide just to our public sector competency partners. We do that in partner equipped virtual events. We do that at in-person events. Just yesterday, we hosted a roundtable, for example, with public sector holding competency partners where they could share feedback that informs our future roadmap on services and programs as well. So we're investing a lot in competencies and very differentiating for our partners that are serious about the work they're doing with us in public sector. Give you an example with one of our partners, Scale Capacity, that actually holds both our government and Gen AI competencies. Really interesting use case they worked on here. So unconscious bias can subtly influence decisions within the criminal justice system. And in California's Penal Code Section 741 actually mandates race-blind charging processes to mitigate this bias. So Scale Capacity, who is an advanced consulting partner, delivered an innovative solution to help the customer Contra Costa County called race-blind charging. The solution ensures compliance with that state regulation, and it automatically redacts sensitive information from case materials, reducing time and resources required for manual processing while being adaptable to various use cases. So again, this is a partner that's invested in getting multiple competencies with us and doing great work out there within public sector. Okay, next we're going to talk about a big investment area for us, and that is our MSP program. We continue to invest in new updates and benefits for our MSP program, which validates AWS partners with proven experience in delivering end-to-end AWS solutions, including planning and design, building and migration, operations and support, migration, and optimization. In Q3, the team launched the Migration Acceleration Program for MSP. We'll just call that MAP for MSP, which is the first financial benefit that we rolled out last year. What this does, it allows MSP partners to aggregate small end customers into one larger deal that will qualify for MAP funding, which previously wasn't available. We did this because we heard feedback from MSPs. They wanted to go after smaller greenfield customers, but didn't always get the incentives that we offered for larger enterprise. So that's an effort to solve that challenge. We also are simplifying the program and making it a better process for our partners. This year, we streamlined renewals, for example, allowing partners to pre-submit controls and assets ahead of time. That reduced our audit window from 2 days to 1 day, so we cut it down by 50%. We also have updated checklists that guide partners through how changes in the programs, how to apply, how to do renewals, and again, making that experience easier for MSPs. Let's check out another example live in action. So a federally funded R&D center needed a partner to support deployment of a CMMC landing zone to leverage AWS benefits while meeting strict compliance requirements. AWS MSP partner Red River used the enhanced MDF benefit that we also provide in this program to fund additional certifications, and they use their validation badge of being a program member when proposing the solution. The customer now has an AWS environment that meets the CMMC and other applicable compliance standards as required for federal and DoD workloads. All right, with that, I'm going to pass it back to Mesa to cover our last category.
Thank you. All right, before we wrap up our session, let's briefly touch on our co-sell programs that fit into the sell and grow phase. So first up is ISV Accelerate. So we introduced ISV Accelerate in 2020 to provide our partners with co-sell support and engagement from AWS sales teams to help partners grow their software business and accelerate sales cycles. The outcomes have been great for participating partners. In 2023 alone, partners in the program won over 16,000 opportunities with public sector end customers, which represents over 95% year-over-year growth. Earlier this year, we made some changes to the program to create a stronger connection with the AWS Marketplace, which is our recommended route to market within the program. So partners who wish to participate in ISV Accelerate need to have one or more software products listed on the AWS Marketplace. There's a few exciting announcements around our co-sell programs that you will hear about at reInvent, so definitely stay tuned for those. But let's talk about Marketplace. Why should you be on the AWS Marketplace? For starters, public sector customers transacted over $1 billion of software contracts in AWS Marketplace in 2024 alone. ISVs in particular are able to accelerate deals and sell to government customers using existing contract vehicles, which means that the government does not have to award a direct contract to an ISV, which speeds up sales cycles and the time that it takes for governments to get access to those third-party solutions. The AWS Marketplace also enhances customers' control and governance of their software subscriptions, which is critical for adhering to some public sector parameters around procurement and acquisition and just the supply chain for software. And lastly, just the scale of the AWS Marketplace provides global reach, helping partners grow their business through repeated transactions. The next up, I'll show you an example of a success story between an ISV Accelerate partner and a customer. So the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, or TET Fund, helps millions of university students across Nigeria improve their educational outcomes. Anthology is an AWS partner that provides a learning management system to help education institutions scale their services to millions of users. Through the ISV Accelerate program, Anthology leveraged AWS sales engagement and technical support to drive the customer engagement and win the deal with the TET fund. And this went beyond the TET fund, right? Anthology have continued to leverage the ISV Accelerate program to support their engagements, and they have seen a 43% increase in the number of co-sell launched opportunities since the beginning of the year. This is one of many examples of partners leveraging the program to accelerate their sales cycle. All right, I think we're out of time, so I'll turn it quickly back to you, Mike.
All right, I'm just going to leave you with some resources for the week. So many of you mentioned that you've been to reInvent before, you know the deal, but wanted to highlight 2 QR codes here where you can find updated information on programs. You can subscribe to our blog for the latest information having to do with the APN. And then please, please, please do not miss Ruba Borno's keynote tomorrow. We're going to see a lot of new and exciting announcements in the realm of how we work with partners. And also, feel free to connect with Mesa and myself on LinkedIn. We'd love to answer any questions you have, and we will be hanging out for a bit after this session. So with that, thank you very much for your time, and we'll see you soon.